Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt with 8.6. Now, real quick disclosure on this, it might be longer than normal. I'm covering two different controllers in this video by the same company. Anyways, let's jump into it. Continuing on some of my controller kicks for myself, I have two controllers here, as I mentioned, to look at from Flydigi. And to save someone a lot of time, hopefully, the only intended compatibility is PC, Switch, and mobile gaming. In this, I'll look at the differences, and in the end, I'll tell you what I would recommend, or even if I recommend either of these. If you haven't heard of Flydigi, they have been a presence for a while. Winners of the Red Dot Design Awards and owners of several proprietary patents. When it comes to Flydigi, you can usually expect competent quality design and you'll get what you pay for. So let's kick it off first with the meat and potatoes one. Let's check out the Vader 3 Pro. V3P weighs in at 258 grams by my scale and is instantly pretty exceptional. It features an array of mechanical actuation buttons from ABXY, the left-right Hall linear triggers, when they're in the stop position that is, to the very satisfying fixed 8-way D-pad. D-pads will be hit or miss for a lot of people. Some like a more mushy, less deliberate D-pad, and some like a more tactile feedback, which this one is. In the case of this one, it is very much liked by me. If you have concerns about early onset stick drift, dash those concerns right now. Flydigi went Hall effect here to maximize your controller life, and I believe they're case over sticks in this one as well. Have a listen to the buttons, as this may be a determining purchase factor for you. Below A, B, X, and Y, you may have noticed two additional buttons, macroable C and Z, which opens up a sort of mirror universe Sega Genesis gamepad feel if you ask me. These can be macroed and made to create a great template for fighting games especially, to emulate that kind of hitbox or arcade style. Additionally, on the bottom are paddle triggers, 4 of them in total, M's 1 through 4 if you will. These can also be macroed, and a quick note from me, the M2 and M3 are angled out somewhat harsh and they don't feel easily intuitive to my fingers. I mentioned the Hall linear triggers, and let's just recap on that. In a closed position, they are open-closed, all or none, essentially. And in the open position, when you slide the rails down and unlock them, you're provided with a pressure range of response for applicable games. Kind of like a gas pedal in a car for racing games. The V3P pulls in at 500 Hz. Whether it's in 2.4 gigahertz or by cable, and it's locked at 500 Hz, which is fine. That's a 2 millisecond latency if you're wondering. The gamepad features 6-axis control and mapping, and if you're a lover of modernized Xbox controllers, you may be happy to learn it also features trigger vibration. On the top is a slot for mobile gamers to mount, and on the bottom is a 2-point charge connection that is compatible with the Flydigi Apex charge dock. If you're not familiar with that, you can buy it separately, or if you already have one from having an Apex, that's something that you can just use to charge this as well. Charge time takes about 2 hours, and with an 800 milliamp hour battery and pretty moderate use, you can get about 10 to 12 hours out of it. A last note before moving on is the RGB lighting. It's a lightweight non-issue for power drain, with a simple subtle aesthetic at the top that can be changed, or turned off in the software under the general tab. The software is both deep and easy to navigate. You can assign macros, customize dead zone and sensitivity, and truly spend some time calibrating your controller to your own playstyle. I would like to see better mobile app support for the controller moving forward, but the desktop UI is on point for features and control. In a nutshell, that's the Vader 3 Pro. Let's check out the Direwolf 2 now. Before we jump in too deep with the Direwolf 2, DW2 might require a step of setup that's not easily found. If you're using the dongle, plug the dongle in, turn on the controller, and use a push pin or whatever you have that'll fit in this tiny hole here, and hold the tiny pair button on the dongle until DW2 connects. Once it has paired to that dongle, it's good to go moving forward after that. It now belongs to that dongle. The DW2 weighs in at roughly 212 grams by my scale, and immediately I can tell you there is a difference in feel. DW2 uses a largely membrane layout instead of mechanical like the V3P, and it's 4 extra macro buttons shy, but maintains the M1 and 2 paddles on the bottom. These can be macroed. Let's have a listen to the sounds of the buttons. Now on the underside there are no rails to lock the triggers, and they are more kind of an old school feel. And while they also employ linear hall pressure triggers, it seems like a miss to skip the locking mechanism for the basic open to close response. While the D-pad appears to be the same design, it feels differently good, like a smaller range of movement good. It's not bad to me, but the V3P definitely takes the cake between the two 8-way D-pads. The sticks used here are definitely K-Silver JH16 sticks, which elevates it in my opinion to a higher end casual classification. Whether in wireless 2.4 GHz mode or wired mode, we're also locked in at 500 Hz polling. In the front there is no 2-point connection for a charge base. The only charge method is for a USB Type-C cable to charge it in the back. If I could put it into words easily, I would describe DW2 as a very quality casual gamer controller. Casual being the focus of that statement. It has higher end parts mixed with lower end parts. It's like a Ferrari under the hood, but rocking the features of an early 2000s Toyota Celica, like manual roll down windows and all that. Might have been a terrible metaphor, I don't know. Like the V3P, it offers software support for customization, and it also feels nice, looks nice, and plays well. But as a comparison, it falls short of the bigger, more rounded brother. And again, that's not to say it's not a great controller. It's just a more mid-high range, comfortable, casual gamepad to me. So at this point, you could probably guess what I'd recommend, right? Well, that totally depends on you. The V3P is absolutely a solid choice in my book. Also, DW2 is a step above the average casual controller. To me, it's better than my 8BitDo Ultimates that I love so very much. The final good kicker to me is just the solid build quality and being designed to last a while. There's a lot of similarities between the controllers, but also a lot of differences between these two controllers, making them very differently great. I hope this was somewhat helpful and useful to you guys. You guys have a great day, night, whatever it is, and I'll see you in the next video I do.